Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Jayden.reads. Today I'm going to be doing the infamous Unpopular Opinions Book Tag. I know that this tag was a thing like a really long time ago, but I didn't have a booktube then, and I really like watching people's videos of this tag, and so I thought I would just give it a shot and maybe, try to make the tag popular again. I don't know. I'll try to find who originally did this tag and link their video down in the description. I know I found it once before, but it was kind of hard to find. But I originally saw this video from Hannah at a Clockwork reader, so I'll probably link her video as well so that you can go check that out because she was kind of my inspiration for making this video because, like I said, if you've been following my channel at all, you know she's the first booktuber I ever discovered, and so yeah, she's kind of the one who inspired me to even make a channel in the first place. Anyway, let's get into the questions. The first question is, name a popular book or series that you didn't like. I would say for me, I took a long break from reading for fun through the end of high school up through college until like the beginning of last year. And so I haven't read a lot of like popular things that maybe other people who read YA or things have read and really love. There isn't like a series I know that people love that I have like a totally controversial opinion about, but I did read An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, and I absolutely did not think it was remarkable. I did not like it. So I guess that would be my answer, is I know that that book is really popular and I did not enjoy it. Okay, the second question is a popular book or series that everybody else seems to hate but that you love. I don't know. Like I said with the last one, I don't really know what series everybody else or books everybody else is hating that I'm liking, but I do know that the book All the Light We Cannot See, which is a historical fiction, I want to say it's by Anthony Doerr or something like that. I could be totally wrong. I've heard a lot of people say that they didn't like that book, which is really surprising to me because I loved the story and thought it had some of the most beautiful prose in the entire world. If that's not a book that's really liked, I love it. And then my other thought or idea was the Flame in the Mist duology. I guess it's The Flame in the Mist and The Smoke in the Sun by Renee Ahdieh. I read those last year and I haven't really heard anybody talk about them, which I'm assuming means that they don't really like them. And that could be totally off though. But yeah, I haven't really heard anybody talk about them. I haven't heard anybody say good things about them. I haven't heard them say negative things about them. I'm just surprised that I've heard so little about them. And I've also watched like an unhaul, where somebody was like taking books off their shelf and giving them away or whatever. They decided to unhaul Flame in the Mist because they thought that they would never really get to it because they weren't that interested in it. So if people don't like that one, then Flame in the Mist as well. Okay, question 3 is name a love triangle where the main character ended up with the person you did not want them to end up with. I feel like when I was younger, like more middle school age, that's when I was reading a lot more like YA books that had a lot of love triangles going on in them. I know that I've read a million books that have love triangles in them, and that's a trope that I find super annoying, but I don't really remember them. So I guess the one that comes to mind the most would be Hunger Games. And like if you want to know more of my thoughts about that entire series and why I actually love Katniss, then you should go check out my video, which I'll have like linked up here, which is In Defense of Katniss or something like that. But anyway, I like despise Gale. I don't want to say it that strongly, but like I really don't like Gale. And I didn't like him the first time I read the books, and then I just barely reread them, and I don't like him still, and it's for different reasons because I was like in love with Peeta when I was younger, and so I didn't like Gale because you can't like Gale if you like Peeta. But now, like being grown up and being in a very healthy relationship, reading these books, I'm like, wow, Gale is like a master manipulator and like kills a lot of people who don't need to die. I just don't like him. But anyway, like I don't want Katniss to end up with Gale, and I actually don't mind at all that she ended up with Peeta, and I think that it was probably a good thing for her. But the reason that I chose this as my answer is because I also would have been happy if she didn't end up with anybody. Because Katniss had always said that she never wanted to get married and she never wanted to have kids. If you watch my video, I'll talk more about it. But I think people pin a lot of this a lot of these unrealistic expectations on her with this love triangle and everything. But I think it could have been a really big statement if in the end, she was like, Gale is my friend, Peeta is my friend, I value them, but romantically, I'm not looking to be with either of them, and then we didn't ever really have to figure out who she ended up with. I also would have been okay with that, but I'm also okay with the fact that she got with Peeta. But I think that's my best answer. Ooh, and this is not a love triangle, but I just don't like the fact that Harry ended up with Ginny. Just throwing that out there. It's not a love triangle, because I was like, you know, I was thinking of the main trio, like Harry, Ron, and Hermione, but it's not a love triangle. But I do actually like Hermione with Ron, and I know a lot of people have a problem with that. I don't necessarily. I think I understand them. Okay, I will say I understand them liking each other when they're younger. It's, to me, like, I guess it's not necessarily realistic that Hermione would marry someone like Ron, but I also think after all of the insane experiences they had growing up and how close they stayed and how much they were able to like understand each other and bond, I understand those two getting married, and I do think that that marriage could definitely work and that they, you know, would find ways to make it work. I don't have the same problems with that everybody else does, even though, like, just looking at it, I don't think that Ron and Hermione have compatible personalities. I do think that through the events of their life, they would work out. I don't think that Harry and Ginny have any chemistry at all. I wish that Harry would have just ended up with somebody else. Like, I don't want it to be Ginny, and I know that he got with Ginny because it's like, then he's officially a part of the Weasley family, but you don't need to marry someone to officially be a part of a family, right? Like, I guess officially, he was so much a Weasley. Like, he didn't need that to make him a Weasley, if that makes sense. There isn't really anybody at Hogwarts that I think he would be better with. Like, I don't want him to end up with Cho. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Harry and Luna should get married, which I completely disagree with. I think the only reason people say that is because they like Harry and they like Luna, and they don't like Harry with Ginny, and so they're like, oh, Harry and Ginny should have gotten, or Harry and Luna should have gotten together. But Luna is so lovable. I love her, but she's weird, and her personality does not mesh with Harry's, and there's no chemistry. Like, no, they don't make sense together either. Just because you like Luna doesn't mean she should end up with Harry. There really isn't anybody at Hogwarts, I felt like, that fit Harry. And also, we don't all have to fall in love with and marry people that we knew from the time that we were 12. It's okay if we become adults and we know more about ourselves and then we choose to marry someone that we meet who's similar to us. So I would have been, I think, a lot happier if Harry did something similar to that. Kind of off topic, but yeah. Okay, the fourth question is, name a popular book genre that you hardly reach for. If most people who watch these videos like YA or whatever, that like this might seem kind of different and random, I really, really like true crime. Like, it is so interesting to me. I'm reading the book Mindhunter right now. I love watching true crime documentaries, listening to podcasts, all of those things. But I hate books that are thrillers. I say that because I thought that I would really like them because they are similar to true crime, but what I've realized is that I like true crime, but the things that happen in a true crime story actually happened. And they're usually gruesome and awful and grotesque and all of those things, but they really happened, and so I think those stories deserve to be told and heard, and I think they're interesting, but I don't like the idea that somebody would make up a similar story about that. Like, because what serial killers do, for example, is so horrific and awful. I don't like the idea of somebody making up a serial killer and being like, ooh, this one does this, and like being able to like portray this person and draw them out and almost kind of like live through this serial killer. When it's like, no, that like the crimes that they commit against people are so horrific, I think it's okay to talk about them in a way that's real, but not to like add any fiction to it. And I know that that's maybe just me, but I also feel like thrillers are usually really trashy. Like, there's a lot of sleeping around, there's a lot of cussing, which is fine, but like, I don't know. I feel like these books are just done in a way that's really lazy to kind of show like the worst of humanity, but I don't ever feel like the writing is all that expert or well done. Okay, question 5 is, name a popular or beloved character that you do not like. And this one is easy for me. I do not like Simon from the Mortal Instruments series. And I know that a lot of people love him, but I do not. I think that he's really boring. I think he's kind of a crybaby. I think that he is completely a player in stuff that happens in, I forgot the actual name, City of Fallen Angels. He is a total player in that book and really annoying. And yeah, I just think that he kind of like whines about everything, and I don't really think there's anything like special about him, and I don't know what it is. I think it also really bothers me. We start out in City of Bones with Clary being the main character, and we're usually just mostly getting Clary's perspective. And then later on in the series, all of a sudden, like, we start getting other people's perspectives, which is, I really hate when authors do that. But then Simon becomes, like, the forefront, and we get his perspective a lot. And, like, I wasn't reading the book because I wanted to learn more about Simon. I liked Clary and her point of view, so I want to stay there. And I also just don't like Simon as a character, really, and so it's really annoying for me. So, yeah, not a fan. Okay, question 6 is name a popular author that you can't seem to get into. I'm not really sure on this one. I would probably say Beatrice Williams out of anybody. She writes historical fiction, and I tried to read The Secret Life of Violet Grant by her, and I hated it. And I ended up DNFing the book because I hated it so much. But I know that she, or from what I understand, she's really popular in, like, the historical fiction world, and she has a lot of other books that I was really interested in reading, but once I read Secret Life of Violet Grant, I was just like, I don't ever want to read anything of hers again because this was so poorly done. So probably Beatrice Williams. I don't know if she's popular, but yeah. Question 7 is name a popular book trope you're tired of seeing. And how many can I name? Love triangles are super annoying. Like I already talked about, I don't know why I'm counting it anyway, but like I already talked about, when authors will, like, switch points of view. I don't know why, but I really don't like that. There are some times where I can make an exception and I do really like it. Like, one of my favorite books, The Alice Network, is a dual perspective book, but the dual perspectives never take place in the same time period. There's two characters, Charlie and Eve. Charlie is younger than Eve, and so Charlie interacts with Eve, but anytime there's an interaction between Charlie and Eve, or that's set in, like, our present day for the book, it's always Charlie's perspective. And when we get Eve's perspective, it's back in the past. And so that's okay to me because they're not sharing the same narrative. It's not like a scene between two lovers where they're, like, kissing in the alley and you get one person's perspective and the other. That really annoys me. Yeah, I just don't like books that have that. And I don't know that that's necessarily a trope. It's more of like a writing style, but I dislike it. And then the other one is when people, like, oof, I hate it. I'm reading the Mortal Instruments series right now, and I'm really annoyed because of this trope that, like, there always has to be turmoil and drama in the main relationship of the book. And that's really annoying to me because it's like, no, there's real actual conflict going on in the world, and our main characters, like, if this is something that young people are reading, our main characters should be able to read about a healthy and sustainable relationship, and that should not be causing the drama of the book. And it's so annoying that it is to me. I hate it. So I hate that, but I also hate when people, like, will go through a hard time or something, and then, like, they come to a resolution, or it's like a really happy moment in a book or something, you know, like a really, really good moment, and then one of the characters says something like, I'll see you in 5 minutes, or like, I'll see you in a second, or something like that, and then you know that something bad is about to happen, and that, like, this happy moment is about to be ruined. Like, when I see that in a book, I just want to stop reading, because I think it's so overused, and it's, like, so frustrating and annoying to me. Okay, question 8 is name a popular book or series that you have no interest in reading. I know that this probably isn't fair, but like I said, I got into booktube because of Hannah from A Clockwork Reader, and she always talks about how she hates, oh, what is it called? I can't even remember what it's called. It's like the Sarah J. Maas book, A Throne of Glass. She hates that book so much, and I know nothing about it. I don't even know what the story is, but I've heard her express that she doesn't like it so many times that I'm like, I'll never read it. So I should actually probably, like, give it a chance and like even find out what the story's about and see if I will like it, because I know it's super popular, but just because she doesn't like it, I feel like I'm gonna hate it, and that's not necessarily true because I don't like everything that she likes. Okay, the last question says, the saying goes, the book is always better than the movie, but what movie or TV show adaptations do you like better than the book? I think my answer to this will be kind of interesting, but I think probably Nicholas Sparks books, which I haven't read in forever, but specifically A Walk to Remember, the movie was way better than the book. And then I remember reading Safe Haven, and I don't remember really what my thoughts were of the book. I just know that I love the movie. And then Best of Me, I think I tried to read, and I couldn't, like, really get through it, but it's, like, one of my favorite Nicholas Sparks movies. So, I don't know. I would say that when it comes to Nicholas Sparks, I generally like the movies more than I like the books. But I haven't read a book for like 10 years, so maybe that's not even fair to say. I don't know. But that's the thought that immediately came to mind. Those are my unpopular bookish opinions. Let me know if you share any of my opinions or if you disagree with any of my opinions. I would love to know your thoughts, so let me know down below. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!